Aimbot. An aimbot is a cheat that automatically locks a player's aim onto opponents, often snapping directly to heads or critical hit points. Early shooters like Quake and Counter-Strike popularized this cheat because precise aiming was central to gameplay, and any automation instantly created a huge advantage. Over time, aimbots became more sophisticated, adding features that mimic human movement to make the cheat less obvious. Some even track enemy movement patterns or adjust aim based on recoil. What makes aimbots different from other cheats is that they remove one of the core skill components entirely. In multiplayer games, this can ruin competition, while in single-player games, it allows players to test strategies or explore maps without the frustration of missing shots. Wallhack. A wallhack allows players to see enemies through walls, objects, or terrain that should normally block vision. It works by altering how the game renders models, often giving characters a highlighted outline or making them partially transparent. Wall hacks became particularly common in multiplayer shooters, where map knowledge and positioning are critical. Unlike an aimbot, a wall hack does not automate actions, but simply provides information that a player would otherwise have to discover through exploration or line of sight. This information can dramatically change strategies, letting a player avoid ambushes or set up perfect attacks. Over time, developers began designing maps and implementing anti-cheat measures specifically to counter wall hacks because of how much they disrupted fair play. Speed hack. A speed hack changes the player's movement speed or action timing beyond what the game allows. It can make characters run faster, attack more quickly, or perform repetitive actions at an impossible rate. These cheats often work by modifying the game's internal clock or physics engine, and they became popular in both competitive and casual games. In older MMORPGs, speed hacks were used to farm resources or escape from enemies far faster than intended. Unlike aimbots or wall hacks, speed hacks affect time and motion rather than aiming or knowledge, making gameplay feel unnatural to anyone observing. This type of cheat can quickly destabilize multiplayer matches because it gives one player an almost unstoppable advantage. God Mode. God Mode makes a player completely invincible, preventing any damage, status effects, or environmental hazards from affecting them. Originally, God Mode was a developer tool used to test levels or mechanics without dying. Players discovered it and turned it into a cheat, particularly in single-player games, where testing invulnerability could also be entertaining. In multiplayer contexts, God Mode is extremely disruptive, as it removes all risk from combat and makes competition meaningless. What makes God Mode unique is its total removal of consequences, fundamentally changing how the game is experienced. In historical examples, like early first-person shooters, activating God Mode allowed players to explore every area freely or survive situations that would normally be fatal. ESP. ESP, or extrasensory perception, provides players with detailed information that is normally hidden, such as enemy health, distance, item locations, or cooldowns. It builds on the wall hack concept, but goes much further, adding data overlays that can be customized for each player. ESP became especially popular in tactical shooters and battle royale games, where having perfect awareness provides a massive advantage. What makes ESP different is that it does not directly control actions like an aimbot, but it informs nearly every decision a player makes. This cheat fundamentally changes the strategic aspect of the game because it removes uncertainty and allows players to act on information that should be impossible to see. Triggerbot. A Triggerbot automatically fires a weapon the instant an enemy enters the player's crosshair. Unlike an aimbot, it doesn't control the aim, only the timing of the shot. This makes it slightly more subtle, as the player's movements can still appear natural, while reaction times become nearly instantaneous. Triggerbots became popular in competitive shooters, where milliseconds can determine the outcome of a duel. They are often configured to activate only under certain conditions, such as aiming at the head or against specific targets. The significance of Triggerbots lies in their ability to enhance human reflexes beyond normal capabilities while remaining difficult to detect. Macro cheats. Macro cheats automate complex sequences of input with a single button press.
They can be programmed to perform actions like rapid firing, recoil compensation, or precise movement patterns that would be difficult for a human to execute consistently. Macros are commonly used in competitive shooters, strategy games, and MMORPGs. They differ from other cheats because they work by automating human input rather than changing the game's mechanics directly. Some macro cheats are subtle enough to be mistaken for skilled play, making them particularly hard to detect. Their flexibility allows players to perform repetitive or intricate actions with precision, giving them a considerable advantage in competitive environments. Memory editing. Memory editing directly alters a game's data while it is running, such as health values, in-game currency, or ammunition. This type of cheat has existed since the early days of PC gaming and was often used in single-player games to unlock content, experiment, or bypass difficult challenges. In online games, memory editing can be extremely disruptive, as it allows players to change core mechanics in real time. What makes memory editing unique is that it interacts with the underlying structure of the game rather than just the visible actions on screen. Skilled cheaters can combine memory editing with other automation tools to amplify their advantages, creating effects that are both powerful and difficult to anticipate.
Packet injection. Packet injection manipulates the data sent between a player's device and the game server. By modifying or replaying packets, a player can trick the server into accepting impossible actions, like teleporting, instant attacks, or moving faster than allowed. This became more relevant with the rise of real-time online multiplayer games, where all actions depend on server communication. Packet injection is more technical than many visible cheats and can be difficult to detect because it operates outside the client. Its importance comes from how it undermines the fundamental communication that ensures fairness in multiplayer games, allowing players to bypass rules without altering the game directly. Exploits. Exploits take advantage of unintended bugs or flaws in a game rather than using external programs. Players might clip through walls, duplicate items, or access areas that were never meant to be reachable. Exploits have existed since the earliest video games, often discovered by accident and shared widely in communities. Unlike traditional cheats, exploits work within the game's own code, but push it beyond its intended limits. They matter because they highlight weaknesses in game design, giving players an advantage that developers did not plan for. Exploits often force updates and patches, as they can unbalance multiplayer gameplay or break intended progress. Script hacks. Script hacks use custom scripts to automate or enhance gameplay in specific ways. Scripts can control movement, abilities, or entire sequences of actions, making them particularly effective in complex games. They are common in sandbox or moddable games, but some players adapt these tools to gain unfair advantages in competitive scenarios. What sets script hacks apart is their versatility. Scripts can be finely tuned for very specific tasks, allowing players to perform actions with precision and consistency that would be nearly impossible manually. They blur the line between automation and player control, making them powerful and often difficult to detect. Overlay cheats. Overlay cheats operate as separate programs that display information on top of the game without modifying it directly. They can show enemy positions, item locations, or timing cues, while remaining external to the game client. Overlays became more common as operating systems allowed advanced graphical layering. They are harder for anti-cheat systems to detect because they do not touch the core game files. The significance of overlay cheats lies in the advantage they provide while avoiding direct interaction with the game itself. They allow players to gain critical information without altering gameplay mechanics, making them a subtle yet effective tool.